Hello and welcome to the vlog. It's another beautiful spring day and it is almost time for me to set off on my travels. But before I do that, I've decided to do a quick 2-day trip up to the Welford Arm. It's about 4 hours there, 4 hours back. I'll spread it over 2 days and it will be a sort of final shakedown before I set out on my true summer cruises. So come with me, won't you, up the Grand Union Leicester Arm to Welford. First things first, of course, and a quick top-up of the water tank before I set off. Then the tiller's attached with its pin, the TV aerial brought down so it doesn't get bent out of shape by bridges and tunnels, and, vitally, the centre line run to the back of the boat so that it's instantly accessible if I need to pull into the bank and step off. Finally, fenders up. You tend not to run with them out on a narrowboat. A gentle nudge into forward gear. You can hear the engine engaging there, and the boat starts gently to ease out of the mooring. A little bit of manoeuvring later, and we're heading out of the very narrow marina entrance. Almost immediately, traffic congestion as another boat comes the other way. No worries though, stay right, and we both pass without incident. The traditional boatman's wave from both skippers as we go stern to stern. Joining me on the trip on his boat is marina manager Neil, who was on holiday and clearly relaxes into steering his 60-footer with the practised ease of a chap who's done this before. I kindly let him go first, so that his prop would pick up any junk in the way, and we set a gentle pace. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to look nonchalant while filming yourself steering a boat. Now approaching a bridge, moored boats, and something that's featured on a prior video on this channel here. It's the water point at Bridge 19. There's the Canals and Rivers Trust sign on the bank, and just beyond it, low down by the gate, is the tap itself. Some of the bank here is rented from the CRT by boaters, so you can't moor there, but there's plenty of general mooring space along here for anyone to tie up for a bit. Engine down to tick over for going past moored craft, as some are only too keen to remind you, but when you're moored, you'll be pleased that others do the same. Oh, incidentally, spring is here. Half an hour since leaving, and that's the marina wind turbine just a stone's throw away, a reminder of just how slow travel is on the canal. Shame the electricity pylons still blight the countryside though, they aren't half ugly. More traffic coming at this bridge, but it's just swans looking indignant at having to move out of my way. It's not the best weather, though at least it's not raining, but the temperature is not entirely comfortable. As I go along, I'm reminded of some useful things you ought to know as you chug along. First and foremost, it is colder than you would imagine standing on the back of the boat. Even if the ambient temperature is okay and the weather looks decent, just sort of standing here as you go along does make you a little bit chillier than you imagined, so it's probably worth packing more clothes than you thought and having them readily accessible to hand. You can always take them off if you don't need them. Secondly, have a hot drink in a flask, or if it really is the height of summer, I suppose, a cold drink in a flask, readily available to hand, because you're having to actually moor the boat up just so you can have a quick drink is really more effort than it's worth. And thirdly, it's probably a good idea to have a little bag of sweets to hand as well, some chocolates, just something that you can graze at as you are going along. How many of these things did I remember for today's trip? Precisely none. Still, lots of lovely scenery to look at as we go, the rural life that goes on all around us. But shortly after the next bridge, disaster. Neil has moored up unexpectedly, so I pull in behind him, a chance to try out my shiny new mooring chains. You know things are bad as you approach, because the wooden box on the back deck is the cover for his engine. Just a little issue to sort, and Neil was of course delighted that I chose not to help, but to film him getting greasy in the bowels of the boat. This oil in the bilge wasn't supposed to be there. The solution to any technical challenge is of course tea, so I put the kettle on, and while it boiled, pondered how this kind of view will soon be what I wake up to every day if I choose. A quiet spot on the canal is unbelievably tranquil. Clearly the tea worked, because soon we were on our way again. The canal's not just for boaters, of course, a place for all to come and enjoy. Note to self though, don't leave your gloves at the front of the boat, completely unreachable without stopping again. Still, at least we're moving, unlike the jammed traffic on the normally busy A14 dual carriageway. Canal congestion here, just one other boat heading south. You'll see a few of these as you go along. They're overflow drains to take excess water off the top of the canal and round to, well, who knows where. Someone's been busy here along the bank. Lots of narrowboaters forage for cut wood for their fire, but this is the non-towpath side, so it's private property. Fans of ITV drama can rejoice here, as this is Downton Bridge. No sign of an abbey, though this is Downton Hill. I couldn't help but film these swans having a cheeky meal in the farmer's field. At this point, a milestone is reached. It's the turning for the Welford Arm and down to our ultimate destination. What lurks here? Find out in the next and concluding part of this vlog.